Hey, this is Keith from Save the Rust. So today I thought I'd show you our 1965 Harley scooter. This is pretty rare nowadays. They only made them from 1960 to 65. They produced about 3,000 and about 500 a year. This is a 165cc. It's a pull start like a lawnmower or a weed eater. It's literally a pull start with a recoil. And it's got a primary drive like a snowmobile. So it's got a centrifugal clutch and then a final drive chain. So we'll get into that. I'll take off all the body work and show you how all this works. This bike, I heard about it. It was local. It was actually one of the painters who worked at the Harley shop had it. And he had it just in the shed. I was lucky enough to make a deal with him. This is probably 20 years ago now, and I got it. It wasn't running, and I did a bit of work to it. Had to get some work done on the head. The spark plug had been stripped out, and it didn't take much really. And I got this thing running, and rode it around a little bit just on the back roads by my house. It's kind of neat. It's different. It's a totally different ride. The center of gravity and just it's very stable. The large wheels were easy to handle. At the time when I got this, I had actually gotten into a few scooters because they were affordable. They were cheap. So I had a couple NSU scooters and stuff. So this one just fit right in, and it's a Harley. I mean, of course I want it. As far as ever seen one before, my cousin actually owned one, but I don't remember it as a kid. And other than this one, I've heard of one other in Manitoba. So if you think of production of 3,000 and they got sent all over the world, there's not a lot of them left, especially in, up here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, in the middle of the prairies. These just weren't really sold or kept around. So follow along. I'm going to go through all kinds of very interesting components on this bike. So that I'm sure you'll enjoy. So we'll start off with the front wheels. Those are 4x12 wheels. They're very stable. They have a 5-inch brake front and back, mechanical. It's got a leading link front suspension with a single shock on the opposite side. Of course, this is a 6-volt. There's your horn right in the front. You can see the headlights recessed because I'm missing some springs or something. Really nice feature is the speedo. That one's got 7,186 miles on it. Nice feature on the handlebars is the barn shield. You got your typical Harley horn right here. Throttle here. And some people probably would know what this, but some people don't. That's your high and low beam, just like an old car. On the opposite side, this is your brake. So your rear brake is actually operated with your foot. Here's your key. And then your front brake would be operated with a hand. So we get into the kind of the operational center of this little moped. And so this is your pull start. So this would have a cable on it, but I don't have it hooked up because the recoil pulled out. Here's your choke, and I believe this is your to pull on your fuel. So it just goes in and out. So here are some of the parts that I've found and collected. I have a broken spring, so that's your suspension. I'll talk about that in a minute, but I needed so I got a couple of those. This is a kickstand. I was missing that. It was ripped off the original bike here. There's the muffler. It's a little rough, but We'll see what we can do with it. The tail light and housing. And just your stock, you know, kind of 70s Harley peg. That's for the passenger peg. And then I've got a manual for it. Luggage rack and a few other little pieces. Floorboard mats. So about 15 years ago, I had a friend do some rough fiberglass repair on it because underneath the seat, it was just completely collapsed and broken and busted all up. So we did start doing some work on it and finding parts. Finding parts took a little bit of time because these just are so rare nowadays and parts are hard to come by. This is one of the coolest features, is the raised Harley on the back of the seat. I'll try and get a better light here. But yeah, there you go. Just so, like, such a nice piece, like such nice detail. And what you notice here, you see this? That's for your air. That's like the scoop that draws the air in to the motor. It actually goes underneath this, between the seat, comes out. You'll see how it comes out of this receptacle and goes into the air cleaner. So there's a filter missing. Kind of a unique feature, you know, that I haven't seen on any other kind of Harleys. So what I'll do now is I'm going to take the covers off and show you how the motor works, how the drive system works, and some of the different features on it. So first thing is the seat. This should have been, it's, you know, usually it would be bolted on, and it's a hinge, so it would hinge up. And the back section just lifts off. Front section just lifts off. There would be, you know, normally there'd be bolts and everything holding us all on. And that's the motor and that's the drivetrain. So we'll go through it. So some of the things I haven't told you yet is that this is a 2-stroke. So this is an oil and gas mix. This is a 10 cubic inch motor, 165 cc. It is, there was 3 models. There was the A, the AH, high performance, and the AU, which was, it was detuned. So it, in some states when you could have you could ride it without a license, but it was limited to 5 horsepower. So they detuned it. The fuel capacity is 1.7 gallons, and this gets 100 miles to the gallon. So you should be able to get 170 miles for 1.7 gallons of fuel, which is quite amazing nowadays. So we'll start into the motor down here. So obviously it's a horizontal motor, and you can see the clutch. This is just like a snowmobile. If you don't understand how a snowmobile works, like as it speeds up, this clutch actually compresses, puts tension on the belt. And as you see, there's another pulley system here, and that would grab that. And as it does that, it turns the primary chain, the secondary chain, which turns the wheel. So quite unique how, you know, they pulled kind of, parts of their golf cart kind of idea. They had horizontal motors in there, I think similar in size. And here's part of a snowmobile kind of idea. And then with the pull start, it's kind of like a small engine, like a lawnmower and stuff. So all kinds of, different components to create this. One of the things I wanted to really point out, and it is really neat, is the suspension. So it's hard to see it here, It's underneath. But if you can see that, this is the suspension. So I kind of related to softail suspension because it's underneath, and it helps with the swing arm on the back. So this, as the swing arm goes up, it actually pulls the springs apart. And on like a softail, like an Evo softail and stuff, there's shocks underneath the bike. So I've always told people this is like the first or earliest softail suspension. You can agree with me or not, but you know, one's a push, one's a pull, but the position and how it operates and how it works with this is the same. So then we get back down here. You can see the exhaust. There's a spark plug at the top. And in here, this position here, this is where you'd have like a little bottle of two-stroke oil. And that's how you'd measure it. So you'd put one of these, it's hard to get this in focus, but it actually has directions right on it. One of these per 2 liters. So it's hard to get to, but trust me. So it was very ingenious. You just fill this up for every 2 liters of fuel. Dump it in there. It would mix around. There's your carburetor. And there you can see the suspension a bit better there. So I hope you enjoyed that short video on this pretty rare piece of Harley history, the 1965 Harley Topper. So like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed that, and watch for us to restore this, get it running in the future, and enjoy it once again. Take care.